Look at the star that Sophie Cunningham is right now. Look at the support that she has in Indiana. And these goofballs in the front office really only gave her a 1-year deal. Wow. You can't make
The
this.
host brings up Doc Rivers as a comparison. The wording may not be perfect, but the main point is clear. Rivers has received a lot of criticism from different groups of fans. Even though he has won an NBA championship, has many years of coaching experience, and has held several major coaching jobs, he has still faced heavy criticism. That comparison shows the main tension in this entire discussion. The WNBA wants the attention that comes with being a major professional sports league, and it is getting more of that attention every year. More viewers bring more television coverage, sponsorship opportunities, debates, and money. But they also bring some of the difficult parts of major sports. The same fans who praise a coach one day can demand that coach be fired a few days later. A player can be called an MVP after scoring 30 points and then be criticized for taking bad shots in the next game. That kind of emotional change is a normal part of sports. The league should absolutely work to improve its culture and should strongly condemn threats, racism, misogyny, harassment, and attacks that go far beyond normal sports criticism. But you cannot build a major professional sports league and expect fans to act like completely neutral observers. People care because they are emotionally invested in the teams and players. With the Fever, that emotional investment has become even stronger because expectations have changed. Once fans believe a team can compete for something important, every rotation decision matters more. Every loss feels bigger. Every coaching decision is examined based on what people believe the team could become. And that is the reality of success. When expectations rise, the pressure rises with them.
Went from the hardwood to the bar top on Friday night. Hours after the Fever's 98-87 victory over the Wings, Cunningham went viral on social media after she climbed atop the bar at Clayton County's Country Bar in Indianapolis and belted out Toby Keith's courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue as the crowd sang along. The performance came after Cunningham helped the Fever continue their late season surge with her 8th win in their last 10 games, giving her another viral moment.
This is where Stephanie White enters the conversation. The host says that most of the criticism against White is about whether fans believe she is supporting her players enough and whether she is coaching the team effectively. It is not simply about attacking her as a person. That difference is important because criticizing a coach's performance is a normal part of professional sports. Fans can disagree with White's decisions while the players can still support her. Both things can be true at the same time. Players experience the coach from the inside. They see the preparation, practices, adjustments, communication, and relationships that fans never get to see. Fans mostly judge a coach through games, press conferences, results, and public comments. In other words, the two groups are working with very different information. So when Fever players defend their coach, that matters. It gives us some information about the team's internal environment, but it does not mean every fan has to agree with every coaching decision. In the same way, fan frustration does not automatically prove that the locker room is falling apart. That should be obvious, but so much WNBA discussion turns every disagreement into a choice between two sides. You either support the players or the fans. You either support Caitlin or the league. You either defend Stephanie White or want her fired. Real situations are rarely that simple. There can be disagreement without division, criticism without hatred, and support for a coach without agreeing with every decision she makes.
Wow, she's just literally hanging out there. She's literally just hanging out. Oh gosh, folks, it's cool when they don't try to hide from the public, when they don't try to shield off from the public, act like they're bigger than the public. When they actually ingratiate themselves with their fan, it is a big deal, and it goes a long way to for fans.
And that brings us to the bigger answer Tibbetts was looking for earlier. Why does the conversation keep moving away from basketball? Because the WNBA is going through a major transition from having a smaller sports audience to reaching a much larger mainstream audience. The basketball is growing, but so is everything around it. There is more celebrity attention, stronger fan rivalries, more media criticism, more competition for sponsorships, and more arguments about who deserves credit for the league's growth. That is the real reason things are changing. You cannot bring millions of new people into the conversation and expect everything to stay exactly the same. When the audience gets bigger, the culture around the sport changes too. Caitlin Clark is at the center of that change because she is more than just a basketball player. She is also a major television attraction, a marketing force, and a figure that different groups see in very different ways. Some fans only care about whether Indiana wins. Others focus on Clark's statistics. Some talk about officiating, sponsorships, or the way the media covers her. Some people watch because they love Caitlyn, while others watch because they want to see her lose. All of that creates enormous attention, and attention is rarely simple or organized. The league's challenge is not to get rid of that attention. The challenge is to turn more of it into something that lasts. That means telling better basketball stories, building stronger rivalries, and helping new fans understand what makes great players special. A new Caitlyn Clark fan should have a reason to remember the player she faces next. Someone who started watching because of a controversy should eventually stay because they care about the competition. Because attention by itself is not enough. If people only watch because of one argument, one player, or one viral moment, that interest can disappear quickly. The real goal is to turn temporary attention into long-term fans who care about the game itself.
The Indiana Fever this offseason need to do anything that they can do to retain Sophie Cunningham's stardom. From a pure business standpoint, they need to continue the gravy train of Caitlyn Clark and Sophie. Continue that gravy train of Caitlyn Clark and Sophie Cunningham. If you can move Lexi Hall to free up some money, you move Lexi Hall as fast.
The host sounds tired of the debate, and viewers on all sides probably feel the same way. When the same arguments keep coming back, nobody is really learning anything new. Everyone just waits for the next clip that supports what they already believe. Fortunately, basketball can break that cycle. The source quickly moves to Indiana's upcoming game against Atlanta, and this game has real importance in the standings. According to the host, Atlanta is right behind Indiana, which makes the matchup even more important. Instead of arguing about who said what online, Indiana has to face a team that can directly affect its position in the standings. This is where opinions can be tested by actual results. You can argue forever about who deserves respect, but the standings do not care. You can debate media graphics, but the scoreboard does not care. You can complain about fans, but Atlanta certainly does not care. A serious opponent simply sees another team in front of them and another opportunity to move closer in the standings. And that is one of the best things about sports. Eventually, the conversation has to return to what happens on the court. No matter how much people argue online, the players still have to play the game, and the result gives everyone something real to talk about.
Love that she's having so much fun. My gosh, she is truly America's sweetheart, just gets better with each clip. It's her birthday tomorrow, and she'll be old enough to be a U.S. Senator, just saying. It's true, Sophie Cunningham loves America. She is absolutely amazing. She's beyond hilarious. Well, that just started my 6th birthday off with a bang. Is it wrong to have a girl crush on her, even if we're both straight?
And listen to how quickly the energy changes when the conversation becomes about the actual game. Suddenly, it is about Lexi Hull's defensive pressure, getting into Atlanta's head, and competing on every possession. That is the kind of discussion Tibbetts wants people to have. The irony is that controversy may help bring people through the door, but basketball has to keep them there. Indiana is interesting because there are already several important stories happening on the court. Caitlyn Clark creates problems for defenses and helps create open shots for her teammates. Kelsey Mitchell can hurt teams with her scoring. Aaliyah Boston can control possessions inside. Lexi Hull can make a big impact without taking 20 shots because defense, movement, and timely shooting can help a team win, even if those things do not always dominate social media. That gives Indiana more than just a star story. It gives them a real team story. If the Fever want the season to become about something bigger than all the arguments surrounding them, the best response is not another statement or another online debate. It is winning enough games that people have no choice but to talk about the basketball.
Turned into America's sweetheart, national treasure. She really is carving out her own individual fan base. She really has done a great job of carving out her own individual fan base, and you saw it with her shoe selling, with her player exclusive selling out. You saw it instantly with her player exclusive selling out. I'm sure XXXY Athletics is seeing it as well with all of the sales that they've had since Sophie Cunningham's comments from that interview.
According to the standings the host was reading during the recording, Indiana was 4th at 22-12, while Atlanta was 5th at 21-2. He also believed Atlanta had the advantage in their head-to-head record, which made the matchup even more important in his view. Forget the online drama for a moment and look at what this means on the court. When two teams are separated by about one game, a head-to-head matchup becomes much more important than a normal game. If Indiana wins, it creates some breathing room. If Indiana loses, the teams become much harder to separate. These are the games where all the earlier complaints about coaching can actually be tested. Are the rotations working? Can Indiana execute in the final minutes? Can the Fever defend without giving up easy chances? Can the role players step up when defenses focus on the stars? Those questions matter much more to the season than whether someone disliked a comment on television. This is also where the pressure on Stephanie White becomes real. The higher Indiana climbs, the more fans expect from the team. A team simply trying to become competitive is judged differently from a team that fans believe can make a serious playoff run. Caitlin Clark's presence has raised those expectations faster than almost anyone inside the organization could have controlled. That does not mean every demand from fans is reasonable. It simply means the timeline has changed. The Fever are no longer being watched as a rebuilding team. They are being watched as a team whose results truly matter. Every game has more weight, every decision receives more attention, and every loss creates more questions about whether Indiana is ready to compete at the highest level.
The trolls are already out, having fun, of course. Stephanie White hearing that Sophie Cunningham was singing courtesy of the red, white, and blue after the game last night.
Go to hell. Go to hell.
You absolutely... It's funny. Sophie Cunningham belts out patriotic classic at Indiana bar after Fever win.
And that ending brings both sides of this story together. The host starts by talking about Caitlin Clark possibly helping Ty Harris get the attention of a brand and ends by talking about a game with real pressure in the standings. These things may seem unrelated, but they are actually connected by the same change. More attention creates more opportunities. More attention can put a teammate in front of a sponsor, turn a normal press conference into a viral moment, make a regular season game feel more important, and increase salaries and commercial value as the audience grows. But more attention also brings more pressure. Coaches face more questions. Players have every comment analyzed. Fans become more divided. Media decisions are examined for hidden motives. Social media arguments can become major stories on their own. You cannot realistically take only the good side of that deal. If the WNBA wants the visibility of a major professional sports league, it also has to deal with the pressure that comes with it. That means protecting players and coaches from real abuse without treating normal criticism as abuse. It means media outlets paying attention to what fans actually care about without turning every story into Caitlin Clark versus everyone else. And it means fans being able to criticize basketball decisions without attacking people personally. For Caitlin, the most interesting part may be that she is already showing one possible way forward: use the spotlight, do not apologize for having it, and share it with others. A few seconds alongside Ty Harris apparently helped bring a company's attention to her. Imagine if that kind of impact happened across the entire league. Teammates could receive more recognition. Opposing players could become bigger stars. Rivalries could develop stronger identities. Role players could become more marketable because millions of new fans finally know who they are. That is how one star can help grow the entire league instead of being treated as a threat to it. And maybe that is the real choice facing the WNBA. Does the league spend the next few years arguing about why so much attention follows Caitlin Clark, or does it use that attention to create more opportunities for everyone around her? Which strategy would you choose? Should the league protect the old balance, or should it use Caitlin's spotlight to make the entire WNBA bigger? Drop your answer in the comments. And if you want more Fever and WNBA breakdowns based on what actually happened instead of recycled outrage, like the video and subscribe. Clark does not need Cunningham to become another Clark, and Cunningham does not need to compete with Clark for the top spot. The best outcome for the Fever is complementarity. One player can remain the main center of league-wide attention, while another becomes one of the important personalities shaping the team's culture. And if that sounds less dramatic than calling them number 1 and number 2, it is actually a bigger advantage. Rankings create arguments. Strong team ecosystems create long-term staying power. So now the question is for you. Is Sophie Cunningham's rise mostly a temporary wave created by the Caitlin Clark spotlight and a few perfectly timed viral moments? Or has she genuinely become a core piece that Indiana cannot afford to lose? Put your answer in the comments. And if you want more Fever breakdowns based on what the evidence actually shows, like the video and subscribe.